So if you're into electronics for any length of time, you probably will end up breadboarding a circuit sooner or later. And so here's a couple versions of my breadboards that I really don't use. I honestly hate the breadboard, but sometimes for a simple circuit I'll do it, or as in this case here, I was commissioned to generate a schematic from an existing circuit board that had 6 layers, and I had only the layer layouts, and I had to figure out a schematic from that and then breadboard it and verify it actually worked. So, but I had originally built this one in 2003, and so to backtrack a little bit, these were all given to me by someone that used to teach electronics at a community college in California. And when he bought a new house and was moving, he had a big pile of electronic parts and breadboards and all kinds of stuff that he gave to me. And these were a couple of the items that I got from him. This one is a little breadboard on a aluminum, black anodized aluminum, and you can see that this came from the De Anza College Electronics Department, and it was board number 2. Whenever I think of De Anza, or whenever I hear De Anza, I think of a Primus song. But anyways, so currently on here, the other day I breadboarded a flashing LED circuit based on a 555 timer chip, and this came in handy. I powered it with my do-it-yourself power supply over here, which I'll do a video on in the future. And then this was going back to this is my deluxe breadboard. This one, like I said, has a circuit on it. I did this like almost 10 years ago now, and I never took it off of here because it's so complicated. I don't want to recreate this, and I need to basically just build this thing so I can have a version of it. This is actually a pretty nice sounding distortion circuit with a 2-gain or a 2-stage distortion or overdrive here based on a dual op amp, and then we have this interesting like high low pass filter thing with these 4 CD4066s, and then we have this output section, which is another dual op amp, which I guess is buffering the output and probably dealing with some of the insertion loss from this arrangement here. But anyways, yeah, I made this back in 2003, and I thought it'd be cool to just have a bunch of various pots of different values, and then I would just run wires to whichever pot I needed, which is essentially what I have going on here. Now, I suppose if you had a super high gain circuit, this might be a problem with running a bunch of long parallel wires, but this circuit didn't have a lot of gain, so and then back here, I recently redid this. I had a little different arrangement on the back, but I added this couple of brackets on the bottom of this thing. One was to hold a power switch, and one was to hold the 9-volt battery, which makes the board more compact. And I'd say this board is about 9 inches by 9 inches. And I built it on like a 3/8 inch thick piece of plywood, scrap plywood that I had laying around the garage at my old house. Now I know certain boutique pedal manufacturers love breadboards. There's one that I used to work for that's basically all I did was breadboard something and tweaked it and tweaked it and tweaked it and tweaked it and tweaked it, and then he'd have me build a prototype for him, and then he'd have me tweak it some more. I personally would rather just design a circuit board and etch it, and I really don't like breadboarding or perf board. This is basically like perf board. If you love perf board, this is simple for you because it's just connect the dots like perf board. But anyways, you know, a breadboard can be a pretty handy tool for sure. So you don't need one this complicated, and it would not be cheap. Getting breadboards this size aren't exactly cheap, but you know, you could go this road if you want to, if you really want to go all out. This, by the way, is a 3-page schematic, so this was a very complex circuit. If you got something really complex, you probably want something large with a lot of room, because if you're not very good at breadboarding, it's better. And then, you know, this, you could actually breadboard quite a bit of circuitry on here if you are used to breadboarding. So anyways, another indispensable tool for some when it comes to do-it-yourself guitar effects.